Hey guys, how you doing? Alright, let's get into it. Let's go for it. Let's see what we got. Uh, that was a blunder on my part. I wasn't thinking. That's okay. Let's go back here. Let's give her another go. Retakes, yeah. There we go, that was destruction. Gotta love that. Let's see if the guys are on. We'll do one more. Let's see. Let's see how you guys are doing. Okay. There we go. Let's see how we're doing here. breaking him down. Boom! Okay, let's get onto our London system. You gotta love that. Love the London system, baby. That was some sort of power right there. Boom. You gotta always remember to thank the Lord though, because He's the one that gives all power. So, but it is fun to set up with that. That is fun. So I gotta admit that. But you have to remember who gives all power to who. Okay. There we go. Alright. Let's do this thing. And I have to also minimize the screen. Alright, there you go. There you guys are. Okay. Okie dokie. Let's see. So there would be mate and 8. So let's see. Where did my opponent go awry? And then if you noticed, he retreated there. Queen went up. He blocked. Brought my knight, rook there. Bishop to pawn takes. I played rook there. Okay, up. Queen there. This takes, takes. Then rook to h3, which at this point I felt like I had a pretty good advantage here. I doubled up my attack. Played there, and I just started playing on the queen side. I thought, you know what? There's not a problem. Just play on the queen side. That was, in my opinion, the mistake right there. If I was to say, I believe that was an error. Then I went wham. I took, he took, and then I pushed onward. I got a pass through. This was actually the loss right there when we didn't allow that. Then bang, there we go. He took, I took, which takes. I pushed. Right there, I took, he took. Yeah, that was losing. If he tries to do this here, that also loses. And then what you could do is just play this. Queen with check. If it comes up, you first grab that. It comes over. You grab that. He grabs that. Check. King there. Check. If it comes up, you first check. If it comes down, check. And you grab that. So you're just totally crunching at that point, destroying. So that's what happened. Okay, now we're gonna go into the London. I wanted to go over that game. You gotta have confidence when you play too, as well. So knight f3, g6, very similar to our game, except we didn't do c3. We played bishop to f4. He played bishop g6, bishop. So we have to stay with the London. So the East Indian defense, and then queen to c1. Talk about a passive aggressive move. Perhaps the game began with c3, pretty solid London. That's what I'm looking at. On move 5 of all things, it's like this right here is telling black, I'm going for the checkmate. I'm gonna pound. I'm gonna destroy your king's fortress. I'm not worried about my king at this moment. I'm gonna go h4. I'm gonna go g5 or g4, and then I'm going to trade off your bishop for my dark square bishop and be in control. This is my bad bishop. This is your good bishop. It will soon be mine. And he played this very meek b6 move, which I didn't understand. It was like very it allows fianchettoing of the bishop, but I don't approve of it. I think it's too passive. That's why it was given a dubious move. It wasn't a mistake, just way too passive. You can't allow white to stomp all over you. You just allowed white to play h6, but I want to show you what should have been played instead of b6. He can sacrifice like a Banco kind of gambit thing with c5. D takes c5, knight to a to take advantage, to get some development. Get some development. b4. Now we're holding on. b6. So he takes b, and then let's see, is it yeah, queen takes b, because you don't really want to fracture this. e3 to let, and then now we can actually potentially get our bishop out now. So d5, knight d5, sorry, knight d5, attack the bishop, queen e5, and which may give black enough compensation as a kind of Slav exchange kind of setup. It kind of allows for white to have a pawn, massive attack on the queen side. So that's an idea. And now there's one move, there's only one best move. If you don't want to go into either the exchange Slav or the Banco, or the Banco, sorry, I think that's, yeah. This is the Banco, not Benoni, the Banco. That one move sequence is d6. This is the only move that gets an exclam here. Only move. There we go. And then best at that point would be this move, and that holds for black a little bit. It doesn't weaken his structure. But he played b6, which is like very, very, very passive. I can't give enough varies. So h6, bishop h6 is an interesting move. Remember, this move allowed us to implement our goal, which is to trade off d6. A little late. h4. There's Harry. Go Harry. Go Harry. You're our hero. Come on. You can come up the board and take away the king's shield. Come on. g4. Knight h2. We're not gonna trade off. We're going after your bishop. You wanna play that way? We'll take care of it. And then he goes, of all things, f5. That's a violation of principal rules, guys. You don't move the piece twice in the opening. Yes, he castled, the king's safe and everything, but what are you doing? Why did you go b6? What was the deal with that? If you're just gonna bring your bishop out, and then the knight attacks it, and then you kind of skedaddle to f5, and it's like, what? You would have been better off. This sounds crazy to have actually, in my opinion, done this all the way back. That I know that you'd be like, what are you doing? To get your bishop to b7. You know what? Admit you made a mistake and go b7. That was your whole plan in the beginning, right? As black. Why go to f5? There is no point to that. If you're going to exchange it for the knight, then this knight would be more than happy to sacrifice itself for the kingdom. Because you've wasted already 3 moves. You would have wasted 3 moves, and the knight hadn't even moved. So this knight has consumed 3 tempos, and it would have been willing to give its life for the kingdom if it could have done that. So, in my opinion, bishop c8, best move. He played bishop f5, dubious again. And then we go g4. Whoa, it's like, hello, and the army's coming in, and it's a little too late. You're gonna get smashed now, because you just allowed Gary to come in, and Harry's already there. So Harry's inviting Gary to the fight. So now you take, and so Gary's willing to give his life for the kingdom. And what you do is take, the knight takes. Now, what is this? We get to take his bishop. This was the whole plan. But we have to go back and see what the best move was. I wanted to show you what the blunder was. What should be played here, there's actually 3 lines. First one, knight takes, which is this gets a question mark. Bishop takes h, and bishop d7, exclaim. So we're going to look at the question mark one first. So knight takes, bishop takes, of course. g2, now we're attacking his rook. Yeah. Bishop takes g2. I mean, not bishop takes g2. g2, and which is a threatening the rook. So that rook's going to have to you're either gonna have to go more likely probably f6 is forced, or c6. I mean, this is f6, c6 is forced, and I will the author says he won't go any further, so it's like, whoa. And the author's a strong player, so if he doesn't want to go any further, it must be a pretty sad state of the game. Now perhaps black should play bishop takes h6, so that yes, the queen's gonna take. That's part of the whole plan. And if g takes, let me see. Hold on, let me make sure I got all this. Oh, rook g1 to attack, double attack the bishop. That's right. That's what the notes say. So here, and then g2 with attack. G2, bishop c. Huh? Hold on, let me make sure I got this right. Oh, hold on. I made a mistake on this here. This was the wrong line. Okay, d5. D5. I think that's the move. Hold on. Wait. Nope. Did it wrong again. Let's see. It takes. Okay. Gotta make sure, because some of the writing, I have to make sure the writing is right. Let me see if it takes. Okay, g2 is right. D5 to block, not c6. That didn't make sense. D5, and then h5, exclaim. Here we go. This is it here. Gives white a powerful attack. This gives white a powerful attack. This one right here, g. And then it goes h5, g2, and then this is the c6 idea here. And now this is the one that we don't really want to go into, because there's really no point. But this is our best. This is black's best line. Kind of, you have to say to yourself, you know what? I made a mistake. I have to reconsolidate my position. If you play bishop to g2 now, I can actually develop my knight to d5, move my rook, and then potentially maybe move my... I don't know if moving the knight would be a good idea. Maybe there, and then in. No, there's nothing there either. Boy. Okay, bishop takes. That's of course the idea. King takes. g5 to attack the knight, and get ready for Harry to go to g5. Let me see, g5, h5. The knight stops Harry, so we play bishop g2. Of course, now we're attacking again the same line. We're fianchettoing with an attack. Bishop c6. At this point, d5 to attack the bishop, and b7. And now this is what black wanted in the first place, rather than go doing all the dance of coming down here, then back, and all that. But he took mistake. Knight takes g4. Knight takes g4, bishop takes g7, king takes, and then Go Harry. Yes. It's your time to shine in the sun. E5. This center count. This is a perfect. He said center counter attack. But it doesn't really help at this moment. This move doesn't help black because white's gonna hack away basically at black's king side pawn chain, and white's got way too many pieces to, you know, go after black's king. Once the shield starts disintegrating around the king, the bishop's going to be coming in, the knight's going to be coming in, the queen's going to be coming in, and it's going to be like, huh, what just happened there? And it's a little too late for e5. Should have thought of that a little bit sooner, but it's too late now because white takes the perfect choice. There is a line, one line that potentially could equalize, and it goes rook to h7, rook h8, bishop g2, c6, queen g5. Now we're bringing in the forces. f6 to attack Harry, bring the knight back. e4. We really don't mind if he takes there and be a mistake. Double question, we'd win a piece. So we can't do that. So e4. That's why we could play e4 and not have to worry about the knight taking it. h6. Queen g3. g5 to kind of shut this down. But remember, when g5 is played like this, this always becomes thorn in black's side. When you have a position like this, white's most definitely not going to castle king side, so that's out of the question, out of the cards, as they were saying, or out of the hat of questions you could pull out. He's going to play basically knight either d2, knight d2, castle queen side, and then get the d rook to the g file, and you're going to be so sorry that this was played after f4, and not fun. Very, very not fun, let's just say. So g5, oops, f4. But wow, he's going for it all right now. Gotta love that. That's got a lot of courage there. White's got a lot of courage. Knight h7, knight d2, and now he's got a castle. Okay, this does make sense. You kind of got to be okay. You don't really want to take this moment. There's no reason to. Potentially, I would say that he could play f6, but I don't know. I probably would, and this is just my thinking, I probably would castle here, and if he tries hacking away at the chain like that, I probably would take, first take, you take, and takes, and takes, so yeah, so I'm not sure if at this point, that was just my line F. So that's the only thing I could see that he could do to save his position. Maybe knight to d7 might be a good idea. But then you have to always worry about castling. If he plays rook there, maybe to do a little hiding spot on h7 or h8. And then you bring your bishop into the fight through via there. King goes there, knight there, takes, takes, or not takes there. Knight takes. And I think black holds, so white's got to be very spot on to make sure that he doesn't blunder. Let's see, let me show you. Didn't, okay, knight d2. D2. Okay. That's where it stopped, so I played e5, a little too late. Too late. F4, f3, wham, boom, you know. F5, f6. Takes, then queen to h6 is like, in comes our main reinforcement. As they say, the Navy SEALs are coming in. That's how I think of the queen, is the main, the best. King g8 and d takes e5. D takes e5, and then the most beautiful move I saw. It was like, wow. You gotta have, this is a quiet move, but it's so beautiful. I was like, whoa. I gotta show this to you guys. E3. Wow. That has so many different ideas to go with it. It has bishop goes to c4 check, which would cause black to have to move, and therefore you pick up a pawn. So like, let's just say that he played there, bishop here, king moves, you actually pick up a pawn there because he can't take because of this pin. So you're up a whole pawn in that line. And also this sets up sometimes maybe for, even if he plays knight here, you could potentially play d6, I mean d3 with a sack, but you do have to watch out for that move. So maybe not the best is bishop to d3. So you have to keep that in mind. But I just thought that was really a nice move. Very quiet, very straight to the point, and very prophylactic. E8, queen e8, bishop checks, king h, d2. Now you see why the queen had to move, had to guard this pawn. That's what was hanging, so she had to guard it. Knight bd7, and then here comes the reinforcements. Our last artillery unit is coming into the fray. Now we can bring the other one to dg1, and we can take this, and black's going to be very regretful that he didn't play more aggressive or fianchetto his bishop at this point, like on move 7. So knight h5, interesting move. He could have bailed out with a kind of not so good of a ending, but it would have maybe he could have held with queen e7, rook d here, bishop g, queen g, then rook takes the pawn. You're gonna go down a pawn anyways. So queen takes h, takes, and rook a to e8, and knight e4, trying to get rid of this so that you can take the pawn. e7, not so to be, as I like to say. Then knight does a sweet combo, knight to g5, and I really like this move. I was like, I applauded this. This is like, whoa. Because your next idea is potentially you can bring another one into the fight with bishop d3. Then you'll have every piece eyeballing h7. Castled. Wasn't able to bail out, but played knight to h5. Interesting move, but should have been a little more concerned about his king. And the rook just came sliding over saying, okay, you know what? Remember, we all have weaknesses. That's what he's basically saying. And I'm going to go knight to e4 and then knight to g5. Knight fd6, e4, rook g8. Finally, he's guarding g6. This looks like a potential panic idea. If he takes, rook takes the knight. Queen d2 or d7. Rook h2, because he's threatening to come down here and get some attack. But hold on, did I put that in right? Yeah, got it in right. So there. Okay. Knight g6, knight f6, and wham. Next pawn falls, and ouch. This isn't becoming, as we say, fun for black. Excuse me. So g8 was played. Bishop takes the rook. It's like, you give me a free rook, I'll take it. Rook takes, knight takes, g8. Queen g5, which now we have the potential to actually go for, if we play rook takes, pawn takes, yeah, mate. So queen e7 is forced, queen takes, knight takes, and rook to d1 with the idea of going to d7, eyeballing c7 and a7. He goes back, and then we go right into d7, and our opponent resigned at this point because there's no hope of basically making it out of this. He could potentially win, but maybe he could take there. But I think that more gobbling is going to happen with this move there. It's not going to be fun. So black just cashed in and went on with onto another game. And then we'll do a summary, and we'll get into our puzzles. Okay, he said that the author said it. This kind of reminded him of the kind of like the Twilight Zone kind of thing. He says, "What type of move is Queen to C1?" He says, Queen C1 is sometimes played in the London system for one purpose. If people think that you're playing the London system, if you play Queen C1, it throws them out of their book, and it kind of confuses them. And if you know the lines like this here, which is the other line that we're going over, other lines, you'll be able to navigate through this. And when your opponent's confused on what you're actually doing, you'll know the route to go down, and you'll be able to win multitude of games playing other lines in the London system. Okay, so we will, and we got to show that real quick. The move we were talking about is this one right here. This move throws your opponents out of book, usually, if they don't know the other line setup. Okay, we'll do puzzles, so I'll leave this with you guys to go over, and I'll be right back. Let's see here. So you're thinking d5 takes the rook on g6. Okay. Trying to see if potentially we can't make rook takes work. The only problem I see if oops, I moved the book. If rook takes e6, d takes c6 or c5. It takes c5. Well, there is queen to d4 with a pin, so maybe that's the line. That pins the knight to the king. And then potentially we could play knight to e4 as well after takes. Oops, there. If king moves, we do have knight. And if knight takes, queen takes. Not sure that's if I get enough compensation for that. Well, now I see potentially, like what you're saying, d takes e6. That attacks the queen. So if queen goes to, so pawn takes d6. If queen e8, queen e8. So here, queen e8. We could play c takes d6 for white. Something similar to that. D takes e and then c takes d6, and maybe we can pick up 2 pawns, but there has to be something more for us. I'm also hoping maybe somehow we can get rook to g1 too. That'd be a really nice attack. I was also looking at a potential c6, but I don't know. Queen d3. What? I don't understand that. You gotta make sure. Are you talking about um, huh? Well, after all the other lines? Okay. Okay. I was looking at this. That takes. Okay, we don't have that. Drat. I forgot that the bishop pawn takes there. It's my fault there. That's okay. We'll get it back. I'm thinking about this is kind of an interesting move. Rook to sacrifice. Rook takes g7. Check. If king takes g7, bishop takes f6, check. King takes f6, and then queen takes d5. This move here, watch. There, there, there. If he takes, wham, we get the queen. What do you guys think? What do you think about takes, king takes, bishop takes, king takes, and then queen's check? I was looking at if rook takes king h8. So there's rook takes g. Oops. Rook takes g7 check. King h8. There's queen to d. Queen d4 threatening mate. So I have to space that out. Queen d4 threatens mate. So he has to force take at that point. What do you guys think? What you guys think? Alright, let's give it a go. There's this line here that I was talking about. If he flees over here, queen king takes, still has the same problem. So either way, he's gonna lose. Alright, we'll try one more game here and then we'll get on to our next one. Alright, another puzzle. Alright, come on, let's play our London system. A new opponent, we'll get one more. me see here. Try one more opponent, then we'll get back. Gotta stick with your ideas, remember that. Stick with your ideas. Let's move it a little bit there. Forking, red alert, fork. Wham. Alright, let's let's get back to our puzzles. So badly want to play rook b1, but the only problem is he could take there. No, don't like that. Well, then we take here. He takes there. We move. He grabs there, and then we grab that. Actually, he can't. He can only get this here. Interesting. So if we play here, he plays there, we take, he takes there, we move. If he tries, he could try knight there. Let me move this so that you guys can see a little bit better. Here we go. There we go. Now I'll just move that lettering just a little over so that we can, you guys can see a little. There we go. There you go. Is there anything better? Let me see what we got here. I'm a little concerned about if we play rook b1, queen takes c3, rook takes b7, queen takes e3 check, king h1, and I am not sure if what black can play. I'm thinking he might be able to play there. So my idea is rook here, there, takes there, and then His knight comes here attacking my rook that's there. You guys have any ideas? Trying to see if knight takes on e6. F takes e6, a6, queen to g4. If rook comes over here, then we have rook there, and not sure if we have enough at that point. Okay. Missed that. That's okay. We're so close. We got there. Don't worry. Don't worry. Be happy. Oh, hold on. Back. What are you saying here? Yeah, this right here is the only one that actually works though, because I made a mistake here, because this actually, if we take right here, I forgot that this happens here, and then he could drop his knight in, and we have no more attack. But if we play rook to b3, queen moves, then you can take, and yes, he has this, but nothing to worry about, because you have rook takes on c6. So yeah. But I missed that. I forgot about that was playable there. And now now we see that we have a pin here. If somehow we can get this queen off this diagonal, we could play rook takes, and then have maybe an attack down that line, but how to do that? Well, there is rook to e7, which does attack the queen. thinking rook to e7. If queen c8, we may have g4, and if bishop e6, 6. This is an interesting line here. Excuse me. Wow. Now we need to be really patient here and think. What can we do here? If we play rook takes the queen, he's going to play rook takes, so that would be for sure. Totally, I agree with you on that. On f7 would be nice. See if we play at this point rook takes d7. We have rook takes e1 check, king h1, and then he has bishop takes d7. And so boy, what to play, we have to think about this, because then it'd be basically equal at that point. Actually, I think he'd be 2 pawns up. Now I kind of get it. I'm thinking bishop takes f7 check. Rook takes f7. Rook takes e8. e8 check. I got it now. If we take here, he takes there, we play rook takes, and we pick up an exchange and a pawn. What do you guys think? Bishop takes. Bishop takes f7 check. If king doesn't, if rook doesn't take, then we pick up the rook. So he's forced to take, and then we win a rook. Bishop takes f7. Rook takes f7, and then rook takes e8 check. What do you guys think about that? Let's give her a go. Bang. There you go. 9 points right there. Wham. Well, I'll show you why the other doesn't work. I should do that. If we try doing this here, he takes, we come up and bishop takes, and it's actually better for black by like 1 point. A half a point. It's actually better for black. So just gotta take your time. I'm taking scope on this right here. Seeing if we can't do a sacrifice. Knight takes f4. Knight takes f4, e takes f4, rook takes, check, king comes over, and then we pick up all the pawns. Kind of got to think out of the box on this one. Hey Fox, help me solve this one. Then we'll go over a game. We'll go over one of your games. But I truly want to solve this one. This is a 500 times. This will give us like 13 points, close to 13 points if we solve it. The lower this number, I noticed, the more points you get. So we're at like 500, which this could get us like 13 points or above. What I'm thinking is knight takes f4, and if e takes f4, rook takes f4. If knight goes to h7, h7, I'm gonna go rook takes f4. What do you think? Because this is a tougher one. I was trying to see if I can't, because this is a dangerous pawn right here. And that's why I'm thinking that sacrificing here, if the king moves, then we come over and grab it. We've neutralized all of black's threats. His h pawn's gone, and we've actually, for a piece, we got 3 pawns. And sometimes, like Levon did that one time, and he got 3 pawns for a piece, and he ended up winning. So sometimes you have to sacrifice, not sacrifice, but give up a minor piece for 3 pawns, and it could save the game. So this is kind of my idea. I'll write it in for you. Knight takes f4, e takes f4, rook takes h4, check. Whatever happens, we'll put a question mark because I don't know what he'll play. I'm just going to put a question mark for whatever he's going to play. And then we play rook takes f4. I don't know what black's going to play because he has so many different lines. He's got knight intercepts, a king move, something like that. So I just put a question mark there for his move. I'm not sure what it's going to be. I think, can't we still just grab the f4 pawn though in that line? Like if takes here, 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 over, can't we just grab that pawn? And aren't we still okay in that line? I was just wondering about that. Because we get 3 pieces for, 3 pawns for the piece, so we get what the piece is actually worth. But is it worth enough to give that piece up? And in my opinion, I believe yes, because of the H pawn is way too powerful. This H pawn is way too powerful. So I'm thinking that we need to we're gonna lose a piece for 3 pawns, but we at least get 3 pawns. So that's what my thought idea was. And then we come over and grab that. We neutralize all of black's chances of winning. With one full swoop, we neutralize everything. It takes courage, though, to sacrifice the knight on f4. But if we can do that, and we have courage enough to do it. What about bishop c7? Huh. Huh. Well, this is our only, the reason I'm thinking that, this is our only opportunity the knight blocks his bishop's protection of h4. So that's the only reason I was thinking, what's the drawback to it? The bishop is blocked from the pawn on h4. Yes, potentially he can solidify slightly, but that pawn is then off the board. You have to take into account, is it worth how much is your king's safety? Yes, he'll get a check and a cheapo check, you know what I'm saying? But we've eliminated the h4 pawn. We've gotten 3 pawns for our piece, and we're still okay. That's my opinion. We're okay. We could, if that doesn't work, then there might be bishop to b4. But I'm not. See, I'm open for ideas. That's one thing, because that's the only dangerous thing I see was the h4 pawn. Maybe it's not so dangerous. Maybe we can actually do some other moves that are more much better for white. So if you guys see anything better, we'll go over it than that, because I'm just going over with what Grandmaster Maurice Ashley talks about Aikido. What's the drawback to each move? You have to think about it, and if you can do that, then you can find the proper move sequences that you need for victory. What do you think, Fox? Do you see anything better than that? Because I'll go over those lines, because this is a really tough one, because the lower the amount of times it's been played, the tougher it is. Queen g2, okay. So knight takes g5, bishop takes g5. Yeah, so knight takes g5, bishop takes g5, queen g2, rook g1, or sorry, g7, queen to g4, queen h6. Huh. Interesting. I didn't even look at that. Hey, how you doing? Okay. So bishop to c7. If bishop e7, knight takes g. When the bishop comes back, bishop takes attacking the queen. And if the bishop comes back again, we take with check. Interesting. Very interesting. True. That is true. So we might have to start off with knight takes. Maybe we have to kick it off with knight takes g5. Bishop takes g5. Bishop c7. Bishop e7. Rook takes h4. Check. Bishop takes h4. Bishop takes d6. Something like that. Interesting. So what you're proposing, Bellman, is let's see. So if knight takes f4, e takes f4, rook c7. Rook takes c7. Queen takes c7. And let's say that he has knight to f7 at this point. Now he's protecting, or he could just take. He could at this point just take the pawn. So I don't know if we get enough counterplay, because the knight would then be able to defend h4. So I don't think we get enough counterplay for that. And we would have lost too much material for our play. We'd be down too much. It wouldn't be enough for an attack. Yeah, it's a good idea. I like that idea. It's, you know, super aggressive and stuff. That is an excellent idea. You just always have to have in an army, you know, in a battle, you always got to have enough reinforcements to execute the victory, or implement the victory. That's what I mean. And we'd be down just too much to implement our victory, so that would not be fun. That's why I'm thinking potentially we have to take with the knight fox first. Knight takes g5. Did you calculate knight takes g5? And then we play your line. Yeah, we looked at this line, but what would happen there? You can't really do f4 again. This is a repeat. I was just wondering, what if we threw in the line's great. I like that line. What if we threw in just one move prior, which would be knight takes, but then we do the bishop line right after that, because then we're eliminating the ability for the knight to take f3. What if we just throw one move in just before that? Because I like this idea. I like this idea. I like your idea. But what if we just throw this one move in? Knight takes g5, bishop takes g5, and then we do that. What if we throw just that one move in? Because then that's a slight tide changer at that point. I think I need to take some of that out. What do you think? Do you think throwing that kind of just that small little curve on it is the way that we're going to get it? What do you think on that? Because we'll take a look at this line. I want to take a look at your line first, and then we'll go over that line. I'll let you take just a quick calculation on it while we go over your line really quick. Here, knight takes, rook takes, bishop to e7, queen g2, queen g7, queen takes g7, king takes g7, it's just that small little curve that would have turned the tide of the battle. I don't know. It's just I got that kind of spidey sense kind of thing. Because what happens is if we don't do that, this was my big concern here. he could play knight takes like what you're saying. If we played rook takes, he can actually play bishop. And then if we played bishop takes, not bishop takes, sorry, this takes here, here, here. He could play there, and I don't know if we have enough composition. Kind of quirky of an idea, but okay. Yeah, do you have a game that you'd like to go over? Your other moves were stellar. It's just that small little twist that you have to throw in there. That one, it's always that one move that you have to be able to insert to turn the tide. I've noticed that in a lot of Grandmaster games that's the setup. We'll be the third person to say yes. Yes, there we go. We're number 3. A very interesting move. Very, very deep move. Okay. Let's take a look here. So bishop takes. Bishop there. Knight takes. Rook takes. Excuse me. Rook takes. Bishop e7. G2. G7. Queen takes. G7. King takes. And then bishop takes. Bishop takes. Rook takes. And yeah, it's even, a dead even game. Nice job. Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, so we don't take we don't take the knight. Gotcha. Okay. So what you're saying is the queen to g2. Hold on. What am I missing here? Okay. Do you have I can go over one game. I can go over one game if you have it. Then I gotta log off. But I can go over one game if you got one. Really efficiently. Or if you don't, then I'll log it because I know that you bring games and those are really fun to go over. I enjoy going over them. They're very informative, as Yasser would say. Ah, perfect. There we go. We'll go over this one. This is going to be fun. Alrighty. Let's take a look here. Oh yeah. Oh, they're gonna put Mikhail Tal was so cool. He had the ability of putting pieces on squares protected by pawns, and you couldn't take them because if you did, your position would be ruined. Oops, I gotta turn off the engine. We don't want that. No engine here. We'll turn off the engine because there's no point to keeping it on. Okay. So F takes, and then okay, A5. Knight to G3, C5, Queen E2, Bishop E7. Nice. Wow, that is a Mikhail Tal for sure. A player of more likely our level, because we're still improving. We haven't reached the Mikhail Tal level of Berserker yet, so that's my new thing. I would have castled here and probably planned for an attack, but then white has castles queenside, and we're kind of in a sitch at this point. But we do have a potential b4, so he takes, and then we can actually lock down the position. We don't want to take, because then that would open up the position. Then now we have this pawn and that pawn to pound home like a battering ram on the king's gates. And we have bishop to these two squares there as well. So that's kind of what I would be planning, more like. So that's actually a really informative move. Bishop to D2. Castles, nice. Now that's for real. That's a nice move. F3 is forced. That's a forced move. You could, I guess, play knight to H3, but the knight doesn't really have any, home or any other route to go through. And you could even play this kind of interesting setup. Knight to F3 is kind of a interesting line, but the problem again, the knight doesn't have a future. Where does it go to? If it goes here, it can easily be captured by this bishop, so it doesn't have a good future there. So that's why the pawn pushed was played is because what the knight wants to do is actually go to E2, potentially. After the knight moves, then you can push and bring your knight to G3, something similar to that, and then you can outpost up there. Knight to F6 is played. Castle queenside. Remember we talked about that. Now it's no holds brawl. It's who can knock the other person out of the ring. Who's left standing. B4. There we go. Yes. Hurrah. Yay. And then A4. There we go. See, that's what we're talking about. You're using your battering ram right there. Your A pawn is going to be the battering ram to boom, boom, the door right open, and then in comes your forces like the plague. You start attacking like there's no tomorrow. So the king has to go over and fortify the door, like on Helm's Deep when they threw Aragon and Gimli to defend while they fortified the door. This kind of reminds me of the king to B1 move. And so C takes B, and now the knight's going to take, and then we're now pinning the knight to the queen, that is cool. Now we have queen B6. He's going to have to then play C4 in that line. Oh wow, so that's even better. I like that move. That's like wow. because you're saying take it, do it, I dare you, take it. And if they take it, hello, wake up. There's as Maurice Ashley would say, your camp is on fire and you don't know what's going on. And this bishop's like, whoa. So if you played there, then you just pushed right on in, and now you have battery ram number 2 coming in. So that's a pretty. That's why white didn't take. If you were wondering. So check the king moves. Boom. You gotta be fearless if you're gonna play like Tal. You gotta be fearless. Tal had no. His fear level was at 0 almost when it came to all the moves. He didn't care how many pieces it took to take the king down. Same thing with Morphy. Paul Morphy was the same way. He got down in I think it was the orchestra game. He was facing like a duke and a I forgot, duke and earl, I think. And he got down to a rook and bishop. He even sacked his queen to draw the knight away so that he could back rank mate. So it's not about how much material you have. It's about king. It's about checkmate. So keep that in mind. Bang. Okay, here. There's the fork. Gotta love it. Rook takes, pawn takes, bishop takes. Rook takes. Queen takes, knight takes. Takes. And when all the smoke has cleared, black has emerged a whole rook ahead and a pass pawn. It's basically over all now. All white has to do now is, or black has to do is convert their advantage. So b5, c4, rook, and now there you go. It takes. And now if it takes, this is a pretty simple win for white, for black. If he tries to get his pawns going, look at this. I have to first eliminate these. Then you lock down the pawn. He can move up here. Actually, he can move there. And then you just lock here. If he tries over here, you play there, he goes there, and then you mate. Something like that. That was a really great game. You have to remember that you try to get your king involved in an ending like that, lock all the pawns down, and then win. Okay, do you have any questions on this before I log off, guys? Thank you, though, for the game, Fox. That was very, very informative on, how Michal Tal actually plays. He doesn't care how much material he gives up. In the end, somehow, by the Lord's grace, he always comes out, usually ahead, with material, either a pawn or a minor piece or a piece or a major piece. But he always somehow comes out ahead. It's like, wow. So that was a great game. You're fine? Okay. Okay. Thank you guys for all logging on, and this was great. We got to go over a Michal Tal setup type of game, learned from it. We also got to see how there's small curves, and one move could make a difference in a puzzle and in the game. And it's not about material. And of course, we always remember the Bruce Lee idea. There are no limits. There are plateaus. You must not stay there. You must go beyond them, and that's the whole thing. When you can step back and see that move, that small little curve in the move sequence, you're getting better, and we are getting better. We saw that. Then we get to apply another one of Bruce Lee's sayings. Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Willing is not enough. We must do. That's the whole point. You can know, unless you actually do it and have the courage like Tal did to play those moves, you'll never know. You'll never be able to apply your true talent that the Lord has given you, and you must be willing to do that, to use your talent. And if you are, you most definitely will do great things. So keep that in mind, guys. And so you guys we're all like coal. Under pressure, we become diamonds. So that's the coolest thing. Okay, I'll leave you guys with that. As Wesley So says, to the Lord Jesus, and as I say, God bless, and I'll see you guys next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, and evening, guys. And again, thank you for logging on, and Lord willing, I'll be back tomorrow, and we'll continue down the other lines in the London system, do some more puzzles, and continue to keep pushing forward and learning. And always remember Hannibal Smith. You be the one to push the mood in the game. Okay, guys, be blessed, and I'll see you tomorrow. Go Team Chess Cruncher. Good job, guys. Keep up the good work. Bye-bye.